your outstanding EDI work and impact, and you continue to guide the College of Paramedics as a member of its diversity steering group. Your career also spans the private, charitable, and public sectors, including the time at Amnesty International and several NHS trusts. In addition to your professional achievements, you are also fully accredited executive and life coach as a mentor, and you serve as a trustee for an LGBT plus art gallery in London and a vice chair to a firm offering consultancy to the arts and cultural sector. And your personal and professional values align closely with passion for creating equitable opportunities and driving positive change. An inspirational quote that you live by is one from Barack Obama: "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." I'll hand it over to you, Bo.
Well, thank you very much, Hannah, and it's great to be here. I'm just going to upload some slides just now, so just bear with me. Amy showed me how to do it this morning, so just remembering. Okay.
It just takes a few minutes to load, unfortunately, doesn't it?
Yeah, so talk among yourselves.
I have to say that is a phenomenal code to live by. You know what? It just couldn't have said it better myself. It is amazing. That is going to be one of my favorites going forward, definitely.
Votes, I really do. Okay, so yeah, okay. I think it's uploading now, and I think it's all going to be okay. It just takes a minute, so we'll just wait a second. But yes, my name is Bo Escritt, and I'm Head of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion here at Sheffield Children's Hospital. And I've been working here for about coming up to 2 years, but I've been working as a EDI senior manager for about coming up to 5 years. So I'm going to tell you the story of becoming a Bo. How did it all happen? So here we go. So my heritage is Nigerian, and I'm from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. And from that tribe, there's lots of sort of artists. We're very into sort of art and acting and all of that. So all of the Nollywood stars, they're mostly from my ethnicity. We've got musicians such as Fela Kuti that you might have heard of. So that sort of thing. We sort of grew up with a lot of art. And my full name is Iyabude Ronke Ogunle. And our names have a lot of meaning. So Iyabude is, what that means is my grandma died when I was born, and I'm her spirit. Something of her has come back in me. And then unfortunately, Granddad died. So my younger brother has the same name, but because Granddad died. And then Ronke is about its praise. We're blessed to have you. And then Ogunleye is Ogun. We have a number of deities, a bit like in Hinduism. So Ogun is a deity, and he is the deity of war, and taxi drivers as well worship him because he is the deity of metal. So you know, they want him to bless them when they go out in the taxi. So I was born in Paddington in London, and I'm one of 6 children. I'm the second youngest, but I'm the youngest girl. And my parents came over here, I suppose, for a better life, and they came into the NHS. Around 10 years old, I was moved to Hertfordshire, and as you can see, I'm the only black girl in the my school photo. And in that village that town that I moved to, I was one of only a very few black children, and my parents did that because they felt that I'd have a better life there, start to learn sort of English customs and that sort of thing, and also had elocution lessons as well, because they were trying to do their best. They knew that their African accent was, they felt it was sort of holding them back, and so all of our kids had elocution lessons as well. And that's why when I moved to actually Sheffield, a lot of people said, oh, you sound like you're off Radio 4. So I guess that's what it's left me with. And just a little clip. This is Gina Yashari. She's Yoruba. And when I lived in London, she was in the next council estate. And it just gives you a sort of insight into what it was like growing up in an African family, a Nigerian family. So I'm just going to play this a few minutes long. Can you hear? So yeah, that just gives you an insight into what was expected. I think I'm the disgrace of the family because I chose human resources, which was not on the list. So these were a few of, I graduated from university, became a fellow Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, as well as fellow Institute of Equality and Diversity Professionals, and all of that really. But I still had to cope with racism. And I guess all structures of oppression. So this could be, sexism, ableism, they all really follow this structure. You have four levels. You have the interpersonal, which is that, somebody says something derogatory to you. But I would say the most corrosive is that structural and institutional, that held me back really. And that is how racism is actually entwined into our processes and procedures, and policies, and also that thing around unconscious bias as well. And then how we can internalize that and think, oh, well, we're labeled with not being good enough, and maybe we shouldn't be expecting more. So that was the sort of fight that I had during my career, is to try and, raise above this racism that I was experiencing. It started actually trying to get a job. So I got my degree, and then I was applying for jobs, and I had very proud of my full name, Iyabode Ronke Gunleye. And so that was on all the CVs. And I don't think there was anything such as, blind recruitment or anything like that. And so I just wasn't getting any jobs. I was CIPD qualified really early, straight after doing my degree. I did a postgrad. And so I was trying to get into human resources, and I just couldn't. I remember someone, recruitment agency, rang me up, and the first thing they said is, "Do you speak English?" down the phone. So I had a chat with my cousins, because obviously they'd gone through the system before me. They were a bit older than me, my cousins, and they said, "Oh, well, what you need to do is you need to possibly shorten your name and anglicize it in some way." First of all, we talked about me being called Mary, but I just didn't like that at all, or Jane. We already had a person called Dee, my cousin, that had shortened her name to Dee. So I thought, well, we had a talk, and I was going to be Bo in my professional life. And also the Ugunleye, we thought we'd make it a bit Irish. So
Right.
we were doing that with our names, basically, to get an in through the door, to be able to get an interview. So the next thing, you get an interview and people would be calling out Bo. They wouldn't expect to see a black woman. And I'd have to say, "Yes, it's me, So there was a number of barriers to get through. So human resources, my profession, very white profession. And that really hasn't changed. I've always, looked around. It's very white. And just to tell you some of the sort of barriers I had in my career. So I started off as a human resources manager. I'd speak to people on the phone and then go and meet them for meetings, as you do in human resources. And people used to say, "Oh, has Bo sent her assistant?" Because they weren't expecting it to be a black woman. So things like that. I went to the CIPD conference, and someone said to me, I was a delegate there, and they said to me, "I'll have my coffee white and one sugar," and pass me their cup. So, and of course I was saying, "I don't work here, I'm a delegate like you." HR advice. "Oh, can I get a second opinion on your HR advice?" "Why?" things like, your English is really good. Well, of course it is. As born here, you know, that sort of thing. You sounded white on the phone. And that thing of trying to, you know, get more senior jobs, there was always a lot of, I suppose, a lot of times that I didn't get the job, even though I was possibly more qualified than the people that were actually interviewing me. So it would go along these lines. Unfortunately, you didn't get the job again, but here's some training you can go on. Why? I don't need any more training. I don't need any more qualifications. So that was sort of how it was going in my career. So these were the challenges, having to work twice as hard to go half as far. My parents actually said you're going to have to be, you know, work 3 times as much as your white counterparts, which I didn't understand growing up. But then you soon get to understand the effort that you've got to put in just to be in the room. So, and also to progress in my career, it was taking me twice as long to progress compared to my white peers and counterparts. And sometimes they were leaping above me, you know, at a faster rate. I was finding it exhausting and frustrating. There was no black role models above me. The first time I started to actually look for black role models, and this was in the NHS. And I came across the director of the Work Race Equality Standard. That was Yvonne Coghill, who started off as a nurse. And at that time, when I was in the NHS, there was no res metrics to measure inequality or your worst experience. So you knew you were having a worst experience, but you couldn't grab hold of it tangibly. You know, there was no data around it. And black people of colour spoke among themselves, but not, you know, to white people about their experience, because they were sort of worried that there would be, you know, a knock-on effect. So what have I learned? So I had to learn to navigate a lot of systems, basically. And what I learned is I needed to make a plan and be really intentional about what did I want to do and where did I want to be, and how was I going to get there. So I had to have some sort of plan or strategy and find out who could help me. So that's what I'd say to any of you: get a plan together and then intentionally look for people that are going to help you. And I used to just ring them up. I used to email them. Also, I had mentoring and a coach as well to help support me. I would say reach out, use the power of talking, let people know what you want to do, because what will happen is they'll, a lot of the time, they would try to help me or try to connect me with people that they thought would help me. So ask people how they got to where they are and what steps did they take? How did they navigate the system? What did they do? And maybe you could emulate that and replicate it in your own way. Social capital has been really important to me. So I do know a lot of people throughout the NHS, and that's intentional because I've just gone up to them and started talking to them. So make sure you've got your support networks there and your allies as well. Life is all really about relationships and connections. So just make sure you connect to different people that are going to support and help you. If you're not progressing, and I do say this to everyone, do not just sit there not progressing. Sometimes you need to move, you need to actually change organisations to get the experience that you need. I did that with Sheffield Children's, and I came back again once there was a job, apply again. There's no shame in moving around, but I would say don't just sit there and get, you know, disengaged and start to, you know, get despondent. I think you should always take action, go and do something different. Take on opportunities for stretch assignments. What I was presented with in my career was a lot was, oh, you didn't get that job. Here's another course. Here's some more training. that most of us don't need any more training. We're quite educated enough, and that here's another course. Here's some more training. Is part of the deficit model. So that's really saying there's something wrong with you. You need more training. You don't need any more training and courses unless there's some skill you actually need to learn. But what needs to happen is around our environment so that we're able to flourish and grow. Um, I I always say beware of try before you buy. And what I mean about that, it was really easy for me to get temporary roles. And that's what I mean around try before you buy. That, oh well, the permanent jobs, I'm sorry you haven't got that, but here's a temporary role. And a temporary role that didn't actually go anywhere, because after the temporary role, you're back where you started in your, substantial role. So this, I call them try before you buy, these temporary roles. Um, and also, there isn't just one way of navigating the system. There's a number of different ways. So just, keep your eyes open and see what other ways there are to navigate the system. You will need help and support to do it. That's what's great about these sort of networks as well. Get over the imposter syndrome. I think as a Black woman, I did have a bit of imposter syndrome. I think because I just, you start to internalize what's happening. I'm not getting the jobs, or maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe, that sort of thing. So I'd say, you are absolutely good enough for any of these other roles. The other thing I would say is get used to your own voice and speaking a truth to power. I think at first in meetings, I was like, oh my God, oh, is that me saying that? It was really quite daunting once I got my confidence and started speaking up, to sort of hear my voice saying what it was saying. And don't be afraid to disrupt the status quo. And support each other in talking. So when I'm in the, any sort of network, sometimes the chairs weren't as confident to start off in the networks. And I would say, look, you lead, you lead the meeting, and I'll support you, and just keep coming in, offering support, and that sort of thing, until they'd found their confidence and were able to talk. So, and yeah, that's really another important thing to say is it's important to rest and recharge and look after your well-being as well. I find that really important in my career journey, because it can be quite easy to get burnt out, especially when you're having to navigate quite a lot, and it takes a lot out of you. So do look after yourself, and believe in yourself. Don't internalize the oppression. Sorry, hang on, I'll just move this. Yes. So, career development plan. I got this off one of my coaches, actually, which was around, this is a very well-known sort of format in the NHS, this Plan, Do, Study, Act. And so we looked at it around how we could do that with regards to navigating career and your career development. So get a plan, identify exactly what is you want to do, and what the outcomes are going to be. And then it's around taking action and tracking your progress, navigating those challenges, and look at your actions and see where you need to refine your plan, adapt, and what you can adapt, what you can adopt, and how else you can move forward. For me, it's as long as I was moving forward, that was the important thing. And then the study is around evaluating, measuring what you've achieved, also celebrating what you've achieved, and how far it's away from your initial expectations, and also your allies out there, and peers, mentors, to really, go to them and ask them what they think as well. So that sort of input was really valuable to me in my career. And this was a really important thing, is once you get up there, just put your hand down and lift other people up. You know, give them the knowledge that you've learnt as you've gone along. Put your hand down and do not, there's some people that will, once they're up there, they pull the ladder up and the trapdoor and they nail it shut. Don't do that. It's so important. We want more people, more diversity, more different people, more women, and we all need support. So that's what I've tried to do, really. Just keep putting my hand down, keep supporting people and lifting them up. So lift as you climb, so important. And that's why I studied coaching, actually, so that I could do that. And hopefully I've helped people to do that. So yeah, so I've had a lot of labels in my time. I've been called aggressive, bossy, difficult, too much, awkward, shouldn't be heard. So this is really what I say about these labels. So to all the women that are labelled, if you're labelled aggressive, keep being assertive. You're probably being assertive. That's why you're being labelled aggressive. Bossy, keep on leading. Difficult, keep speaking the truth. Don't stop speaking your truth. Too much, keep taking up space. Awkward, keep asking difficult questions. Shouldn't be heard, keep demanding attention. Keep on carrying on, keep on leading and shining. And my question to all of you, all of you that if you're wanting to progress your career, this is the question. If not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Thank you.